Okay, welcome to the show. Tony Haslage here. You're listening to Politically Crowded. A couple weeks ago, the college had an event called the President's Forum. Now, they do this every semester, and normally, whoever's in Senate will introduce the president, and the president will basically answer questions brought up by the people in the audience. Well, I had, about a year ago, had made a comment, which I won't repeat here, but it's been used as examples now for censorship. So, but to make up for that, I had decided that I was going to renew everybody's conviction in me by doing a comical opening for the president, and it went as such. Welcome to the 2004 Spring President's Forum. Now, in the process of deciding how to throw these events, we consider many factors, and one of them is entertainment, and obviously the other is to answer questions brought up by the audience. So our first idea was to create a panel. Now, on this panel would, of course, be the president, and then around him, division managers, division heads, students, and whatever. And let's just say that these people would point out the highlights and flaws of the president. Let's call it a roast. So now, obviously, the president wouldn't enjoy it, but I mean, everybody in the audience would find it hilarious. But then again, the president wouldn't enjoy it, and he's paying for the event, so maybe we'd take something a little less painful. So we decided, okay, what about This Is Your Life? Again, funny for us, not funny for him, because obviously we would want to bring in all the people in his life, which, most embarrassing moments ever. So we decided, okay, let's not do that. So we decided, finally, a simple question and answer, and that's what we have here. And that's how it went. So, not as funny as originally planned, but it's basically, a little giggle here and there. But anyways, I digress. Onto the show. We are at a fun episode. It actually has to do with, again, with the radio station locally. Now, let me start with introductions. So, to my left is Chris Haslage, Program Director of LCCC Radio. LCCC Radio?
Yes. Everybody forgets that last C or puts two C's on.
That's because there was originally two C's, that's why.
Lorain County College? I guess it was.
Lorain County College.
Yeah, at one point was.
Or Lorain Community College.
I think it's Lorain County College.
Oh, radio was here back in the 80s.
Yeah, it was Lorain Community College.
Was it Lorain Community College?
That's what it was.
Across from Chris is Ray Torres Jr., Anime Society co-founder, and the oldest guy in this college. And and next to Ray and myself is Shara Schluter.
No snide comments, please.
She's the Vice President of Anime Society. Now, we'll jump right into the first topic, because Christopher is dying.
Oh, yeah.
Recently, at least in the last 2 weeks, there's been questioning about once the station goes live, and it's actually behind schedule currently, that DJs may break certain rules. So we've been questioning the certain words here, and Christopher will go into a little detail here, so go ahead, Chris.
Okay. What's going on right now with the college is, now we have a college identity here, and we have to keep hold of that identity. And at this point, what I'm getting from the beings above me, that some things that possibly jocks and or music could say could disturb that fine balance between decent and indecent for the college. Which, mind you, I went to the FTC website and I spent a weekend looking at what is decent, what is indecent by the FCC. And just a quote here, this is the indecent broadcast restrictions. And this defines, the Commission has defined broadcast indecency as language or material that in context depicts or describes in terms patently offensive as measured by in contemporary community standards for broadcast mediums, sexual or excretory organs or activities. Basically, talking about one going to the bathroom, for example, explaining it detail by detail, step by step.
And don't laugh, because I'm sure DJs have done it.
I know Mark Lehman has.
So I went to the bathroom.
No,
Stop.
That would be wrong. That would be bad. Obviously, for simple reasons that we could talk about sexual. I heard a rap song that I'm surprised is being played today about somebody having done something that I really had to step around on, but she was pleasing somebody, and I'm surprised that actually got on the airwaves because that is against regulation. And, of course, there's profane broadcasts, which the FCC has defined profanity as including languages that denotes certain of those personally revealing epithets, naturally tending to provoke violence, resent, or denoting language that so grossly offends to members of the public to actually hear it as to amount to a nuisance.
Oh, like,
Adam Sandler is a great example with this.
well, they don't play them on the radio anyway.
No, they don't play 'em
except
on the
maybe
radio.
like the Hanukkah song.
Well, the Thanksgiving song.
Yeah, well,
I
occasionally.
like the Thanksgiving song. And they actually cut out the one lyric in the Thanksgiving song about the baby oil.
Yeah.
Because of...
it was of a sexual nature.
Yeah, of course, and that would go against passage number
Well,
1.
isn't this technically going against freedom of speech?
No, actually it's not, because the FCC denotes that you can use your speech fluently to make your point instead of being graphic about it. So we go with what the jocks can and cannot say with duck radio, which is kind of funny because I'm trying to keep words like, and I'm using these examples, so nobody bleeps me on these, fudge, butter, heck. And the word crap is a nice one as well.
Yeah, but those all refer to the full terms.
That goes to one of those, well, can you pick a better way to put it? Was one of the higher-ups questions. And, well, in some cases you can't. Some cases you can. Like, ow, I fell down and hurt my butt.
It's like, if they get their way, we're going to sound like second graders talking again.
Actually, what you want to do is instead, like, if you're going to use the word fudge. Fudge, of course, being, there could be a couple ways you could say fudge, and I'm not going to say them here.
Delicious chocolate treat.
Yes, exactly. I like fudge. So you could go about, like, oh, fudge, for example.
Yeah.
Like, I like fudge. No, but you could go as far as saying something like that, where it's like, well, okay, you shouldn't say that. That's a no-no. It's better than saying the other one, which is the F-bomb.
But it's still, you know...
Yeah, I mean,
hints at that word.
Exactly. And one of the things we're looking at is, why can't you say, oh, I shouldn't have really done that. That was a big mistake.
Yeah.
You just wasted 11 words.
I know. And the problem is we have to dance around certain words like that. However, what I'm gathering, and this is preliminary, not actual final, with the music statute that we cannot edit pre-recorded material, thus including bleeping songs out.
So we can't play them at all.
Words like, and mind you, I am saying these as in context and describing, I'm using these words. For example, and I'm not saying these in a...
He's not using them derogatory manner.
Yeah,
Go.
he's
Exactly.
just reading the paper.
So I just need to say that before I go. The word hell. I'm going to go with a couple. Billy Joel, and you'll know this song. His honor is pure. His courage is as well. He is fair and true, but he's as boring as hell. Angry young man. That's the only curse word in that whole entire song.
Same with Shout by
Tears for Fears.
Tears for Fears. They had said that word. And
Yes. You know, a great another example is John Lennon, Imagine. Imagine if there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky.
See,
Imagine all the people living for today.
I don't understand that, because, I mean, if you're using it in a derogatory sense, yeah, that's offensive to someone. But he's talking about the place.
Exactly.
They can say it in church. Why can't we say it on the radio?
I think I think the problem that we face in today's society is everything is so politically correct. Okay, everything has to be done in a certain fashion.
Yes.
Because they are afraid of offending people. Okay, 20 years ago. Okay, when I was here in college, there's things that go on today that had we done it then, it wouldn't have been bad. Or if it was kind of looked bad, it wasn't. The worst that would have happened was maybe somebody would have came to you personally and would have said, "Well, Chris or Anthony or Sarah, I didn't like you saying that." But that's as far as it went, unless you did something totally belligerent. But a lot of songs in the 80s, came out with a lot of these things, and as long as it wasn't like the F-bomb or something really extravagantly big like that, then they get bleeped out. But smaller words, such as some of the ones that you were mentioning, were in the radio.
Well, it also
days.
goes with WNCX dropping Floyd's Money because it had the S word, and that's the only word they had in the entire
radio
song.
Before.
So is this one thing they're going to do? So like maybe I listen to like 12:20 or something in the mornings. I listen to the Christian thing. So when the guy who's talking about Jesus and talking about Christianity and beliefs, and when he says hell, are they going to bleep that out?
No, because the FCC goes back and it states that in order to be indecent, it has to be talking about sexual or extraordinary organs or activities.
But he's not talking about that in his song.
Exactly, and that's why it's FCC bound and legal. However, the college feels differently. The college feels that it is an obstruction to a college activity if a jock
says it.
If a jock says it.
But what if you play the song?
The song, however, is a pre-recorded item of material, and you will have that. I did an estimate.
It really would sound stupid with the word bleeped out. It's like...
Yeah, like, they do that on PAX TV. PAX TV is infamous for that.
Everything.
Yeah, everything, even crap.
Yeah.
And let me go to the word damn first, which I quoted that. Nobody can hear the quotes, though.
Yeah, he did put the quotes up.
Mind you, before that I said hell, which is a state of separation of God, exclusion from God's presence, or it's used as a tensifier.
Actually, I think the whole term is hell and damnation there.
Yeah, they go hand in hand, really. And, of course, damn is context to condemn or everlasting punishment, or a similar fate of something of little value. I didn't put an underline on that. Okay, and a great example of damn used in a good example as, America's Sister Golden Hair. Well, I tried to make it on Sunday, but I got so damn depressed. Everybody's saying, okay, does that seem offensive to any of you?
No.
I'm not really
No,
offended
okay.
by it. But
However, we go to Elton John, Someone Saved My Life Tonight. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Damn it, listen to me good.
that's angry.
That's angry, but is it offensive?
Is it gonna? It doesn't denote violence. It doesn't denote anything sexual.
And he's not saying it against anybody specifically.
Yeah.
So, of course, with hell and damn, you're not seeing much of an issue of denoting anything.
Okay,
however,
because like episode 2, I said hell and damn like many times.
Yeah, and however, that is a pre-recorded material, and I think maybe that might slide. I'm not. I might have to bump your time slot. I'm not sure yet.
One of the things I did.
Yeah, hear it on the radio first. That's
one
great.
of the things I did, Chris, when we were in OhioCon and you was running audio for me, I have to still work on the second half of but the first one. And they were saying words in there that I thought was questionable. What I had ended up doing was I cut out the word and I put the sound of tone over the spot so we could play it on the cable station here. I figure at least this way you're not hearing the actual word and it's not taking away from what it is that they're trying to convey.
Did you send the original to...
Well, Adam, I sent him an email, and he will get a copy of the first part 1. I got to do Saturdays yet. It has yet to be edited, but
I keep forgetting this. We're on radio, so.
But anyway, just to let you know that that's what I did. And,
some info into the lives of Ray and Chris.
I just thought that I would cut those words out and put the sound of tone just real quickly. Beep. Out on the spot.
Now we break to a romantic scene between Chris and Ray. No, it is endearing. Too bad you can't see it.
Let's go to the last word I'm going to describe because the rest of them really have no, because it all wraps up in the end. We're crap context. Losing a first round on a game of craps, of course, crapping out. Cheap or shoddy material, miscellaneous or disorganized items, excrements are used as an intensifier. Like, oh, crap!
So they define that in Webster's dictionary now, don't they?
Yes!
Excrement!
No, it's excellent. Okay, no, so, of course, we go with one of the most famous uses of the word crap. Don Henley's Dirty Laundry. When it's said and done, we haven't told you a thing. We all know that crap is king.
I remember that.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's probably one of the most famous uses. I like the last one I'm going to tell you. Weird Al Yankovic's Couch Potato. Oh, Ozzy's family. Show loves profanity. Whoa, the insanity. Oh, the dog's a crap and pee. Home of depravity. I rapped that too. It's like, yeah, okay.
Word. You got the backwards hat and everything. I don't know. It's like crap. My second grade teacher used the word crap.
Exactly. You know, cut that crap out.
Yeah.
You know,
I heard that all the way through high school.
yeah, you sung rap as crap. So I'm like, So really was offensive about that. However, note that the last song, which I just quoted to you, doesn't go into detail with the word crap. It doesn't explain the context. And if it would describe the process, then it would violate. And of course, this still goes into the back of the whole point. Yes, maybe we can play all these songs that I just listed on the air. It's really up to me to see really what the point is on how often they say the word. Like AC/DC's Highway to Hell. 16 uses of the word hell. How do I know? I listened to the song twice to make sure.
My question
4
is,
in each area, each course, yes.
do you have like numbers here? Or are we still...
Oh, I do have numbers. Thank you for mentioning that. And the college did decide to kill those three words from the songs. And this is a lot of numbers here. If hell, damn, and crap are removed from the list, when you're looking at an average of 25%, at 150 songs would be removed from a playlist of 600 songs. A playlist of 450 songs would get a repeat time at a rate of 15%. Of every 45 songs. That doesn't seem significant, but would sound pretty bad when every 2.5 hours you hear a song that repeats. You know, personally,
That's really irritating.
To you? How about to you, Ray?
Yeah, that's true, because that's how a lot of songs get burned out on the radio, too. You keep playing a certain one.
Shumba tub thumping.
That's why I stopped listening to the radio, because they always overplay stuff like 92.3. I could listen to the radio for maybe an hour, and I would hear Like a Stone by Audioslave at least 3 times.
Yeah.
And that's why I stopped listening to Q104. They play the same stuff over and over again.
And sometimes those are good songs that get overplayed.
Oh, yeah, like Evanescence. That was so killed. Evanescence,
it was an excellent song.
Linkin Park, those songs were just maimed.
And, it's funny, what I'm trying to do in the end is I want people to tune into our station and stop listening to 104, 106 is not that bad. 104, 96.5 and stuff like that, to where, like, listen to us. We'll play the new stuff, but we'll give you more variety.
Yeah, and, you'll throw in some oldies, and you'll throw in some weird things that most people don't hear,
Yeah, the college stuff's like, ooh, that's a good song. Who does that?
Yeah.
Well, that's PBM. Hey, let's go try that.
Yeah.
By the way, I did PBM. I should get a check for that. Anybody?
No,
darn.
unless you're doing a commercial.
PBM tastes great with
PBNL?
Chicken? I don't know. Okay. You're going to say something, right?
I was going to say, what about suck?
Well, let's go with the whole issue here. The school really wants you to use a whole variety of words rather than just saying something sucks. Why does it suck? Why don't you tell me, explain to me why the situation sucks instead of just saying it sucks.
Can I say it's extremely, totally awful for sure?
Yes. That's a much better way to state your opinion. It's like saying, like heck, for example. What the heck is that about? Well, you could rephrase that and say, well, what is that deal with that? Because I really don't believe that should fill in the...
Then you get redundant.
You do get redundant.
And then people will look at you and be like, that's so redundant. Are you the president of the redundancy club, which you are the president of?
Mojo Jojo. I'm Mojo Jojo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I will destroy you, Puff of Course.
You just start, getting into that, and it takes away.
Well, this is why you have to formulate what you say on the radio.
Takes away
Radio is
from
not
your
about
show.
spur of the moment.
Oh, I know. You have it scripted.
You have to script your stuff to where you use like, oh, that's not redundant.
Yeah.
Or if it is, well, if you slip and you're just like, oh, heck.
Yeah.
That's okay. Hey, people slip. I'm not saying that's acceptable. People do that.
Yeah.
We're
human.
I'm not saying that you're going to do it every 5 minutes. If you do it every 5 minutes, then there's an issue.
Then
that
that's
needs to be,
intentional.
yes, that is an issue that needs to be resolved. But if you slip off at once a week or something, I wouldn't even once a week. I would say once every other week. You say a slip up like, oh heck, or darn. If you say one of the biggies.
Yeah,
you're going to warning, and
That's right. Play the show late in the evening when nobody else is listening.
Oh,
well, now here's
won't
the
mean
thing.
anything.
When you guys were kids, you might not even have been born yet, but Captain Kangaroo
Dude.
had gotten
I watched
suspended.
that show.
It
He
was
got suspended for a long time because at the end of his program, well, now, okay,
Oh, yeah.
they could bleep things out 7 seconds prior to it coming out.
Okay.
But at them days, you had to wait for the floor manager to tell you you were clear. And he still had his mic on, just like how I have mine. And they went to black, but before it went to commercial, he ended up saying, "Oh, that'll take care of them little."
Actually,
Gabbo.
Now hold off those little SLBs is what he said.
Yeah,
and-
something on those same lines, and of course he got suspended. I
Yes.
don't know if parents have actually called in, but the way they looked at it was,
parents called in. They're like,
Oh yeah, Barnaby did the same thing in the '80s, where he was, of course, Barnaby was always filmed live, and when the guy who played him started going senile, in the middle of the show, he stopped and he started scratching his behind, and he said, "You know, if it itches, scratch it." Tells all the kids that. He got suspended for that, and he had his last show like a couple weeks later, and he had to pack up and leave. They actually had that show, which was quite sad.
yeah, because I used to watch Barnaby when I was a child, and all that. So it was, but that's the way it goes.
I just don't understand why all these censorship laws were raised, because, pardon me for saying this, Janet Jackson flashed her breast on television. It's something that, I remember talking to you at the beginning of the semester. You're like, yeah, there's a chance that the radio station might allow us to use the F-bomb occasionally.
Actually, no, it was the FCC might
allow it. All
and
right.
that was before Janet Jackson.
Before that little incident. And then as soon as you have that, you have, they did nothing to censor television. I'm still seeing guns. I'm still seeing women's breasts. I'm still seeing violence. I'm still seeing people getting blown up. But the radio's like, no, we have to fix this because it was music.
And that's the problem with Janet Jackson. The has-been she is did not mean that. And okay, she's a has-been. You haven't heard anything good from her in the last 7 years. And the sad point being,
ban all her music.
No, it's really also goes to Bono, and people are like, Bono, that was wrong. No, actually, technically, the FCC was well within their rights with Bono. Reason why, he said during a primetime event before 10 p.m. on a weekday. And that's a no-no with the safe harbor rules, which states it's 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
What was it
safe
Bono
harbor.
did?
What did he say?
He dropped the F-bomb at the Grammys.
Oh,
and
okay.
He says it intensifier. He's like, that's a,
Yeah.
and he wasn't using it for the meaning of sex.
Yes.
So he, of course, got fined for that because,
I'm sure it really put a dent in his wallet.
Oh, yeah. That and the trees he saves and stuff,
yeah.
too.
You can go back to hugging them.
Those trees, I swear.
But like I said, Crystal, it just seems that more and more groups are coming out and they're saying, well, look, this bothers me, this offends me, and if you could annoy people enough, you'll pretty much have it your way.
Yes.
Not too long ago, we, the Anime Society, faced a situation like that where I had drawn and had people paint Faye Valentine
From
a
Cowboy
close-up
Bebop.
from Cowboy Bebop pointing a gun.
Yes.
And it was to be then automatically removed. Now, it doesn't matter. I mean, I figured, well, we tried it. We tested it out.
We had it up for maybe like a week, and then someone complained to student life.
And it happened. So what I said was, okay, I took it as a challenge. And we created the Hikaru one, which is even better.
We made a much better banner.
And it was a much better banner.
Right.
And you'll get that to where this is the reason why.
People are sensitive about different things. I mean, I didn't see it being a problem because really, look at when you got Uncle Sam pointing the finger at you saying, I want you. Well, isn't it impolite to point? But yet, I mean, if you're going to look at it like that, but still, the fact was it made a statement.
Yeah.
The Army needs you.
Yes.
Uncle Sam is knocking on your door and says, you know what? You can make a difference. So it reached out. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Give it another 10 years. You're going to have some people who are not going to want him pointing the finger.
And he'll probably go like this.
And all of a sudden, he'd be something like maybe with his arms open, with a hug like, come and join the Army or something.
In the Navy.
Meet interesting people and hug them. It's not going to work.
No, it goes back to
times change. That's unfortunately
the whole main topic of discussion with the whole state, the radio station and the college. It goes down to, would you want to say that to Dr. Church? Think of it this way. You're in a room, you're in the booth, you're in the radio station booth, you're pretty much broadcasting to Dr. Church. Mm-hmm. Do you wish Dr. Church hear you say, that sucks behind.
Well, that's the same thing that they use. They're like, do you kiss your mom with that mouth?
Yeah,
I
kiss my
do,
mom. I
and
stopped many years ago.
kissed her on the cheek. So,
but who's paying the bills for that station?
and that's understandable.
Yeah.
It would be the college, and that's true. It's one of these things that we clubs we face is that we follow the student code of conduct.
Yes.
Because we want to give the college a good image, and see, the college has to stay neutral. It cannot look like it's showing favoritism to any particular group of people or race or religion. When we were doing the lip sync contest, it was a classic example. One of the young guys let me borrow a do-rag to put on my hair, and it happened to have the Confederate flag.
Yeah.
Well, now I was going to be the West Texas rednecks saying rap is crap. Well, now imagine I'm going to get in front of all the minority people, Hispanics, Jews, blacks, anyone that's here, and you see the Confederate flag.
See, he picks himself first, and he goes to the knee.
Now, unfortunately, 20 years ago, what I mean by unfortunately, it's not saying that unfortunately we couldn't use it. That's not a problem at all, because I could kind of see where that's coming from. 20 years ago, that probably wouldn't have been an issue. But it is not, because as we discovered we look at more of the history of the South, so many cultures were brutalized by that flag, under that flag.
And then people just get more sensitive over everything.
But the same point being is,
so I could understand. Then
where would the General Lee be without the flag? The car from the Dukes of Hazzard. The new movie coming out, and they're going to now put the Confederate flag on a General Lee.
Well, it was the same thing. It's something that certain people have an offense to. For example, I went to Disney World, and they have the Indiana Jones show. They don't have the swastika on the airplanes. They have a German cross. Why would you do? Yeah, I understand why they did that. It's the same reason they don't put it on the car, because back when they had the Dukes of Hazzard.
At that time, it was acceptable.
It was acceptable. People were like, "Oh yeah, it's rednecks, whatever."
Yeah. But
nothing
now,
against rednecks or anything. I live with plenty of them.
Since we've studied the history, behind that in the South, it doesn't really represent just the old sweet Dixie and all that. It represents slavery. It represents exploitation.
It says more
Native
people,
Americans and all that other
as
stuff.
more people get out and they're like, "Hey, that bothers me." It's like the same thing with Disney World. Disney World's obviously not going to put something related to Germans that killed millions of.
Jews,
and they won't shill for Pepsi.
Huh?
Disney does not shill for Pepsi.
No.
No, they don't.
That's okay.
Well, I mean, before I'm going to cut you off for 1 second. I do have one final thing to say.
All right. Okay.
We're college students, and what you have to look at, our music tastes are vast and different, but we're in college for a reason, to broaden our understanding, to heighten our intelligence. So why do we need to use words like, what the heck? Or kiss my butt? You can say something a little more intelligent than that.
Can we say eat my shorts? I have to know.
I think probably not.
Aww.
I think maybe in the context of this is what he said. If you can quote somebody, that's different. But when you're in an environment such as we are at the college, then you will look at stuff like, I disagree with that point because I am the king of redundancy, therefore yeah. And as the booth laughs, they like my speech.
So now apparently I will never know when Sarah wants me to eat her shorts.
See?
What am I going to do for that nutrition?
What if I make a cake shaped like shorts?
You'll
never know.
There'd be a great profit. I would sell that. I would seriously would.
Okay, to end this segment.
Yes, we have the name.
Okay, we're ending this segment here. We'll be right back after this break. Okay, welcome back. Now, FCC is citing up almost half the show itself. We'll just get into some quick current events here. The first thing is Israel killed the Hamas founder, and of course he founded Hamas in '87. Yassim was his last name. Now, because of the assassination, and they've replaced him. Oh, and by the way, Hamas means zeal in Palestinian.
I like hummus.
Yeah, I like hummus too.
It's
not pasting gray.
I think it's pronounced Hamas.
Maybe I'm thinking of that green stuff, guacamole. That's what I'm thinking of. Okay. Okay, so now obviously war is broken out again between the Palestinians and Israelis, like it's ever really stopped.
It never stopped.
Now, Christopher and I are descended from this region of the world, and now obviously want to put a little bit of educational aspect or something in here, so we're going to throw it to Chris here.
What?
And
I did not approve this.
He didn't see that coming. He's like, educational. He's not talking about me.
Oh, yeah. Chris, basically, the people you're descended from are fighting each other.
Yes, they are.
What do you think?
That's bad. No, I honestly, they're fighting over, I believe, more territory. Correct?
Yep.
And for territory reasons, that's, the population of Israel right now is not that vast. All they really do want at this point is just more territory because they believe that's the Holy Land. And the Holy Land is slowly being removed from them. This actually is a holy war at this point. And
It's
sadly,
always been a holy war.
Oh, for the last 100 years,
For the
anyway.
last million,
actually, for the last
thousand
50,
years. 50.
some years.
Yeah,
Well,
long.
it actually started back 100 years ago, but the actual holy part started
Crusades.
1948.
Crusades.
2 weeks after the founding of
But
Israel.
at that point, Sarah, the
I know.
Jewish nation, as we knew it then,
Wasn't yet
was
established.
dispersed
Yeah.
all over
Yeah.
Europe after the fall of Masada, which that was somewhere around like AD 75 or
Yeah.
so.
So what you have right now is the issue of laughter. No, I hear them in
That
the
booth
booth.
is loud, yes,
yeah,
I
that
know.
booth is okay. So what you have is you have all this turmoil just because people can't agree. They can't go the proper way to channel, to get stuff done. They think war is going to help them, and especially with religions that believes. I'm not saying our religion in exact, but they believe in that God will thank you if you fight to the death.
Oh, it's that whole virgins will meet you once you come up to heaven.
Stuff like that, to where you will have an issue. What do they call that? A holy war is called what in Arabic?
I don't know.
Nenefada or something.
It's something. I can't remember the exact.
They got all kinds of names for all these regimes and stuff. It just reminds me of the time when the Roman Empire occupied that land. You had the group of people called zealots
Yes.
that were like Barabbas happened to be one of them. I mean, you have people that they were constantly trying to drive the Romans out, but unfortunately what they were doing was it was making the situation worse because since then the Romans were so afraid of insurgents going on and anybody could be an insurgent, a lot of times they brutalize entire villages, literally just killing men, women, and children, innocent people who had nothing to do with that, but because they were so afraid that at any moment some person could come out of nowhere and kill several of these soldiers, they figured better to slaughter the folk than to have them deal with us. And even to this day, you have a lot of people that feel that they have to terrorize or they have to attack individuals or groups because they feel that that's going to they're going to get their way. Somehow we're going to do what they want. But it didn't work in Roman times. It didn't work for the Crusaders when they came from Europe to terrorize the Islamic nations who happened to be in that area to try to get the Holy Land. And so, why do we keep on resorting to those
It's not very
tactics?
dissimilar to the KKK. They do the same thing because they think God will shine nicely upon them.
If they kill all the people that
Yeah.
aren't like them, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's sad. That is very horrible.
You're thinking the word jihad? maybe?
Jihad is the word I'm looking
There
for.
you
That
Thank
was
you
in my
much.
mind too, but I couldn't exactly say it.
Declaring jihad. I mean, that's like saying, I tag you, no tag backs. I'm like, geez.
All right.
That is it's childish, really, to think of, okay, we're going to kill you now because you disrespected us. No, I don't think that equals out somewhere here. I just believe that it's like the little kids. It really is, and they're acting like little kids, and they're not going to see that until they go to hold
no
our world
one's
up.
going to let them see that because they're right, and if anyone tells them otherwise, that person's wrong.
But see, the sad thing is, if I'm not mistaken, both in Judaism and Islam,
They're very
they
close.
don't really. I mean, I don't believe that in either in the Torah or in the Quran there's really any place that says for you to kill yourself and take somebody out doing this. I can see the Japanese with the Shinto faith. Okay, the Norsemen
Honor, yeah.
with Odin and all that if you fought in battle and you were to die for your country folk, that
Yeah,
you
but
were going to go like to a heaven,
That
to
was
a place
that
like
was
that.
a mythological belief that you would be taken up if you were a brave warrior. You'd be taken up by the Valkyries.
Like
in this one, it's
kamikaze.
just yeah.
They flew those planes and all that, or the samurai when they fought. If they died in battle, to them it was like an honor because they were going to go to a heavenly place, a paradise. But where does it teach that in Judaism or in the Islamic faith? That if you go ahead and you fly an airplane through the World Trade Center, that you're going to go to heaven. Where is that in there? There's no place in there that says that, or even condones that, for that matter.
Well, in the original text, maybe not, but also you have to understand that when you live in that area, you are bound only to what the government shows you. Mm-hmm. And so, if the government says that, well, this is what it said, you have to believe that.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's the same belief, with the Catholics and the martyrs. You look at that and you're like, oh, well, this person died for their faith, and then they're acknowledged and they have a little holy day for themselves possibly, and people pray to them through them to talk to God, going on Catholic beliefs. So, how is Catholicism any different? Except people aren't going out and being like, I'm going to strap this, C4, C4 on myself, and I'm going to go blow someone up. It's not the same thing, but it's the same. I don't know.
In essence, maybe it is the same principle, but is it really solving anything? I mean, if it's World War II and you got kamikaze pilots.
Yeah, you're fighting
for both, both parties are fighting for their own different way, but they're fighting in a different way. They're fighting in a fair fight. Where you have a bunch of, bystanders, doing absolutely nothing. They're shopping and somebody has C4 and they push the button.
Yeah.
Totally different. They're not fighting the war. They're trying to live their lives.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And I don't think God, whichever God they believe in, I hope it's the same one, does not approve of that. And they will be set right.
And the thing is that what they don't understand is you will never have peace. Because then if you try to have peace, okay, let's say that you get talks and things does get resolved, then all of a sudden it takes somebody else over here in this corner that doesn't like the way things are, and they resort back to the same tactic. Maybe it won't be in Tel Aviv, but it'll be here in New York City, or it'll be in London, England, or somewhere else. So in reality, it's like a never-ending battle, and you really, what are you getting at? When I stopped and I saw a picture in the internet, beautiful 18-year-old Palestinian girl going to college, beautiful girl. Mm-hmm. Was going to get married. She was engaged to get married. Walked in with an attaché case into a mall and blew herself up. And I'm thinking, wow, this is devastating. I mean, her family, her fiance, her parents, what must be going through their mind that they lost this loved one over something like this? Mm-hmm. A girl with a whole life ahead of her. To just snuff it out like that because, somebody's going to give you
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with like the 12-year-olds. You get like the little 9-year-olds. They're running around with C4 in their book bag, going through checkpoints, blowing up military vehicles.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
It's really
this whole thing is just makes me mad because my boyfriend's friends are over there, and every time I hear Marine killed, I worry. It's like, oh no, was it Charlie? Was it Tim?
Yeah, and. It's wow. I wish we had that kind of recruitment here in the United States because, Well, no. I mean, if somebody's that dedicated to kill themselves.
Oh yeah, but I mean that's a religious fanaticism. This is, I mean, you kind of have a fanaticism on protect your country, protect your loved ones. With that, it's like protect yourself, and you get to go to heaven, and there's going to be all this great stuff for you.
I'm just looking at the fact that. What is is this one guy going to each person? We have a great dental plan. Go kill yourself. That's going to be stupid.
Yeah.
It's probably brainwashing at its best. I mean, the thing is, that there's a big difference between, I'm not saying I'm condoning that they've done it, but like when the Japanese fought in battles in the feudal times and even in World War II, as we saw with 6,000 young men who flew these planes, most of them didn't even get to hit a target, but if they did, they created all kinds of damage to the U.S. fleet, British fleet. But these people, they believe this is part of their faith.
Yeah.
Okay, they believe that what they were doing was they were fighting for their country and that there was going to be a reward. This is how they were taught in their faith. But see, the Japanese and the Germans and all them, they fought to the bitter end. They lost the battle, they lost the war, okay, and they paid the price for it. And even in Vietnam, when you had a lot of them, you know, doing the same thing during the Vietnam War. But see, but the thing was, the Vietnamese then fought tooth and nail to the bitter end. But what happened, like for example, in 9/11, or what's happening in Israel or in Baghdad or places like this, what they're doing is, yeah, they're getting people to go ahead and do these things. But where are these so-called leaders that brag about, oh, that they're willing to die to the end? Where are they? Hiding in caves. Yeah. I mean, at least in these battles or wars that we've read about U.S. history or different times of the
on the
earth,
battlefield.
you know, they're on the battlefield fighting for their lives. You know, many generals and stuff lost their lives in a battle. Okay, because they were fighting for what they believed in, whether they were on the right side or the wrong side. They believed in something and they fought tooth and nail for it.
Fair and square. You know, we go with, once again, you said, in a cave.
But if I'm going to go ahead and tell people to do the fighting for me, and then all of a sudden I do all this damage as a result of it, now all of a sudden I got the angry giant, you know, he got a wake-up call, now he's going to come after me, well then what's the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and hide in a cave. I mean, I think that first of all, that's a disrespect to the people who did go out and die for the cause. Mm-hmm. You know, that these so-called leaders that they went ahead and did this for is basically hiding in some cave because they're afraid.
Excuse me, are we going to talk
I mean,
about
that's
the
just
tape?
my opinion.
You probably should talk about the tape then.
What tape? Where am I missing here? Did something come out this morning or something?
No, actually, about a week ago, there was a tape submitted.
Oh, poo. I'm sick of those tapes. All they are is complaining and calling Saddam Hussein names. We're talking about Osama bin Laden, right?
Yes, we are.
Ah, poo, screw it. We'll move on to the next topic.
Seriously?
Yeah, I don't care. After, like, the second tape,
No, but he's saying there's more targets in the United States.
Oh, they said they were going to blow up a mall on Halloween. Did that happen? No.
That was actually a rumor.
That was a rumor. That wasn't on a tape.
You should always be prepared because, you know, I mean...
There's a lot of psychos out there.
Okay, think of it like this. The Russians made all these nuke bombs like that could be in an attaché case.
Yeah, but all of the Russians' technology was run by a basic Nintendo system.
But see, but here's the thing, though. They got most of them, but there's still a few of them out there that are unaccounted for.
Oh, it's the same
they're
way.
being sold in the black market.
It's the same way with, like, in Germany. There's still minefields. They haven't found all the mines from World War II.
Now, what if somebody, let's say at a time like the World Series or like the Olympics or something like that, you get some goof with one of those bombs like that.
Yeah.
He don't even have to even go in Jacobs Field or the Gunda Arena or anything.
What happened in '94, didn't it?
He could be a mile away. And all he has to do is press the button, and there he just totally takes out whoever he wants.
Well, that happened in '94 at the Olympics when that little explosion happened.
Yeah,
and
I remember hearing about that.
I remember seeing that live. I was watching the Olympics and I saw that. That was pretty trippy.
Well, the event that was going on, you saw it in the background, so it wasn't like right there.
Oh, everybody and their sisters showed that clip, though.
Yeah. But that's what these people want.
Janet
These
Jackson.
people want to hit where the biggest targets are at. So they're going to want to hit sporting events. They're going to want to hit, like if Macy's is downtown in Thanksgiving in New York, well, you're going to get a large influx of people there. And if you have one of these guys with one of those attaché cases,
he's showing a hand gesture of hitting the button there. Okay, we have to move on to the next segment because this is not the Ray show and this is not the Chris show. So
if it was the Ray show, it'd be Wednesday.
This is the Sarah Schluter show. Schluter?
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Sorry about that, Sarah.
It's not really my show, Ray. It's his.
Okay, so we move on to the government, religion, and sex. So
wait.
What about sex?
Well,
why'd you hold the syllables on that? You're like in.
My grandpa says, you want to talk about sex?
Well, see, I didn't want to say the word sex like that because then somebody would think it was a bad thing.
And intercourse.
No, not intercourse, just sex as in preference.
Isn't that where you drive a race car?
Personal intimacy.
Okay, first we're going to start with another guy has sued in California to have the word God removed from the Pledge of Allegiance.
You know what? If he doesn't like God on the Pledge of Allegiance and money, he can give the money to me. I will happily take it from him.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Okay, now we'll start with Sarah. Do you find that guy insane, wanting to...
It's his opinion. You know, America was established on the beliefs of God.
Now, the first court he went to, the local court, they said, okay, and then when they moved it up to the district court, they said no.
They're like, no. Well, it's you know, if he doesn't like his kids saying the Pledge of Allegiance, The kid doesn't have to
They
say
can,
it.
yeah, you opt out on that.
You
That's
can be like, I would prefer if my child didn't say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Exactly. No one's gonna like
And
tell them you
you
have
can
to.
do that. But I mean, to say that the whole rest of the United States, you speak for them when you say, yeah, I want this removed, and I don't want any more kids saying it. You don't have the right to say that. You don't have the right to say, you know, one nation under God has to be removed. Ohio, you know, there was like a motto that wanted to be, you know, taken out of the state, like under God, all things are possible.
yes.
They wanted to take that out. You don't have the right to speak for everyone in this country.
I agree.
And
But-
say that.
Not to take his stance, but he's saying the government, there has to be separation from church and
That's
state.
fine, but the government was founded with basic beliefs in religion. You know,
Well, they're
all
not
of,
telling you to believe in Jesus.
no,
not
but
at all.
you know, they're saying under God, whatever God you wish, you know, whatever God you follow. If you're an atheist, then there isn't a God. That's fine. Let us
Just
all
name your cat
you know,
God and get on with
well, no,
it.
it's like if you're an atheist, you don't believe in God. That's fine. Let us all be wrong and you be right. You know.
Yeah.
Exactly. I have to agree with that.
You know, it's really silly that next thing it's going to be like, you must listen to punk rock.
You can't tell me
Yeah.
what to listen to. It's freedom of
Exactly.
religion, and you know that's why he can exercise it all he wants. He can say,
Or-
take it
or-
out till
or-
his face is
Or
blue.
like they say, this is America, love it or leave it.
Yeah.
If you don't like the fact that they're saying one nation under God, then go somewhere else.
Go one
Well-
nation under Allah.
Yeah, why don't you go
Get
over
out.
to Afghanistan or somewhere, man? You know, be under the Taliban.
One nation under me! Okay, we'll be right back after this break with marriage. Gay, straight, government involvement. So, yay. Welcome back. Now, the government, it's having fun with people's emotions. It's telling people, hey, if you're gay, you can't get married. Though one county in Oregon actually has made it now where if you're straight or gay, you cannot get married until the gay law is taken back, basically.
So no one can get married in Oregon.
Nobody can get married in one county in
yes.
Oregon. And
That
that's
is so stupid.
No,
No,
that is so
it's
smart.
it is
Why is that smart?
because they're basically saying, hey, you're being unfair to one group of people. So instead, every group of people is going to have to
Well,
suffer until
my
it's corrected.
question is this like you can't go to a church and say we want to get married and get married there? You can't do that.
Not in that county. Other counties, yes.
That's I
You
mean in
can't
this
even-
county.
You cannot
can't,
get a marriage license whatsoever.
Okay, I have a problem with, you know, getting a marriage license. If you're gay and you want to get a marriage license, go get a marriage license. I have a problem just for spiritual beliefs that if they go into a church, I don't know.
I have an issue with this.
What?
And I have to post it's, well, we're talking about the guy trying to get God written out.
yeah, go
That's
ahead.
his own thing.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. You know, if somebody wants to go to the Justice of the Peace, which they've been doing,
That's fine.
and I'm sorry, but they're actually, if you want to give me exact interpretations of what the Bible, mind you,
Well,
I
isn't-
didn't mean to put quotes in
Isn't
that,
that a
but
separation of church and state, what you're saying? You know,
Exactly.
the government can't be like, oh, you know, the church can say freely,
really,
we don't want
it's double indemnity at the end to say, well, one faction of people can't get married. Might as well just say blacks can't vote anymore.
Oh, I'm not saying they
You know-
can't. I have no problem with homosexual people. I have no problem with them.
I just want to say, do what you got to do. If it's not going to hurt me,
No.
If Adam and Steve want to get married, it's not hurting me.
That's
it's not going to hurt
fine.
me in the future,
You know-
because I'm not procreating with them. They stopped their procreation
Ability.
I'm still going to go out with said person and
Yeah.
do that. That's not hurting me at all.
Well, it's like if they want to get married, if they want to go to a state
You know what that
facility,
just helps me? It helps me to say, hey, they're not going to be spreading AIDS no more because they're confirmed.
they're married.
They're married.
They're
gonna
dedicated
Oh,
to
they
each
could be
other.
they could be infidel in
But
their marriage, just
that's
like
They
everybody
can do what they
else.
want, though.
That's also that's a
now,
stereotype.
is
you know.
that
I'm
also-
just stating.
I
you
know.
But it's also, if you look at it from the economic standpoint, though, that if some, let's say a couple who decide that that's what they want to do, and they're just getting married for benefits and things of that sort, well, guess where that's coming from? It's coming out of our taxpayers'
Yes,
money.
And that's-
but I'm looking at the fact that, so if they're just going to marry a woman, it's going to be the same thing. It doesn't matter in the end because we're still a mass of people with a number. We are all a number. And in the end, you're going to marry another number anyways. So if you're going to marry these two numbers versus these two numbers, it's going to be the same number in the end.
You know, something interesting, Captain Planet. And
The Planeteers?
Wow.
Captain Planet says, and this is probably one of the strongest things I've ever said.
The power is yours.
No.
He says that too. Don't
At the end of
deny
one
me.
of the planetary alerts, they say, when it's your time to become an adult and to have children, the world's population is growing so vast that perhaps maybe you should consider two to
Adopt.
3 children. No, 2 to 3 children. They never brought up adoption.
Oh, they should have brought it up.
So, to make sure everybody can share in the resources equally, limit the children you have. Now, keeping that in mind, there are people still with dozens of children, literally with the same wives, that while, okay, yay, great, they stayed with the same person, they never cheated, but they have 12 kids. So all the gay couples, what they're actually doing in turn then is equaling the numbers out. So, okay, so there's the downside where some people don't like it, big crap, who cares?
Well,
the upside is those people who just don't stop,
they're the ones who are killing the environment. They're the ones who are killing the world.
So let's blame the straight people for having kids,
so the gay
for
people
killing the environment. So the gay people are helping the environment by not reproducing.
I see more gay people picking up litter in their front yard than some Joe Schmo because, well,
they're just very clean.
They're very clean people, actually.
Stereotypically, gay people, one of them is the clean freak. So you wish sure at least a clean house for every married couple.
Well, that's why you see the odd couple.
It's the same way with straight people.
Well, we're not worried about straight people get a stereotype. Now, also, and this is not a stereotype, within the next, into 2010, 40% of all gay people will have AIDS.
Really?
Yeah, right now it's somewhere
So
in the
which
teens.
percentage of straight people will have AIDS?
They didn't tell me that.
Well, then you have
It's one of those
you have
Bush
a very
campaigns.
bad.
You know how Bush goes, homosexual relationships are wrong and against the Bible, blah, blah, blah. 40% of them will have this, blah. 60% will have this, blah, blah, blah.
The man has the intelligence of a rock.
Yeah.
Where's he getting the percentages?
Look, as far as I'm concerned, people got to do what they got to do. No matter what you tell them. Personally, I as a Christian am against that. Okay, I do not believe that God intended for men to be with men and women to be with women.
So what makes
he made it very clear. He made it very clear in his word that is not what he wants done. But people are going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
That's been in history. They're going to do so. To me, the way I look at it is, I don't judge any particular person.
You can.
I will be to them like anyone else.
Yeah.
Okay. I will not agree with what they're doing, but I will still treat them with love, with respect.
That's different
that they deserve.
That's different from judging. Because if you're
I don't
judging,
wanna
you're
judge
like,
no one.
you're gay. You're a bad person.
Well, that's different.
When
you
I
don't
point
do
the
that.
finger at me, I got 3 coming right back at me.
Exactly.
telling
And
me
one pointing
I'm
to
worse.
God.
Exactly.
Well, no, the whole point of the Bible was personal belief structure. It is not a belief structure that is supposed to be based on everybody. It's supposed to be a belief structure that you impose on yourself. However, some religions feel that they should impose their religion on other people, and that's why we have George W. Bush going on air and stating that this is wrong and immoral.
Who is he to say it's wrong and immoral?
Yeah, that's his belief structure.
It's his born-again Christian belief structure, you know?
There's a different belief structure from Ray than me, definitely. I believe in a lot of things differently. We still have the common base agreement that there's a God and there's a heaven and all is right toward the world, but that's Donahue, by the way. But still, it's the point being that I also believe in a little Taoism. I believe in a little bit.
You sort of mix it because I'm Catholic and there's certain things I don't follow. Like I don't believe in confession. I don't believe in the whole idolization of the Virgin Mary. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in the saints. I don't believe in having to pray through them to talk to God. It's like going to a coworker and saying, "Hey, can you ask the boss if I can get a raise?"
Exactly.
I don't agree with that.
There's why there's different sects SECTS of I don't know why I spelled that out.
Well, it's confusion. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes. Of religions. There's not just one group of Jews. There's not one group of Christians.
Yeah,
there's a group of Catholics. There's a group of Baptists. There's groups of Jews. There's way too many groups.
Yeah.
I don't even want to go into that. But the point being that I'm just going to form my own religion, call it me religion, and just stick with it. Because
That's materialistic,
I chose.
I belong to
Say the word.
Oh, all
See,
right.
I called my own religion Method Judaism, and my followers are strong, and I believe that...
It's you, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. I believe by believing in me, I'm the best God I could possibly be.
In other words, he worships St. Mattress in the morning instead of going to church.
I don't know.
Saint mattress.
See, because I have only one apostle, and it's called computer. Now, see, computer services me. So, you know, it earned this place in heaven once it dies.
Chris, stop.
So,
It doesn't, no, when he
Chris,
says
stop.
service, he means work with, not service.
It's an internet service. I don't see why you had to explain that, Chris.
Adelphia. Okay, anyways, we'll move
You
on.
shill for Adelphia?
If they pay me, that's great. Okay, 60 seconds.
59.
50 cent?
60 second.
Okay.
And we'll start with Sarah.
Yay!
Now, we've done television station before, so now we're going to do radio station. What are your call letters, and what would your programming be if there was no FCC?
What are my what?
Why are you looking at me? It's hers first.
I know, I want to see your impression. If you could make a radio station, what would your call letters be, and what would your content be, provided there's no FCC?
I don't know. Go someone else. I need to formulate an idea. Go to Chris. Chris has got something.
Okay, see, because I liked WDLW, because it sounds like a bad word when I first heard it. And of course, cause just like my TV station, it would be a good mix of good music, but then late nights for the lovers. 70s and 80s porn music. Now, I'm saying... See, it beats infomercials, really. It does. And it beats religious stuff. No offense to the religious people, but I want to instigate growth. I want to instigate love. And I think the best way to do that is with funky music. Okay?
Okay, yeah, Curtis Mayfield, Superfly, anybody?
Okay,
That was a good song.
we have to wrap it up, so you're...
No, but I'm looking at the fact that I really have no call letters because I don't think I'd be allowed to have my own radio station anymore. I've tried it twice. I've failed it both the time. Nah, I shouldn't say I've failed. But at the point that I would play stuff that you would normally not hear on radio, what we're trying to instill at Duck Radio, where it's like, oh, I want some decent variety. But it's so hard to please everybody because offensive this, offensive that. Well, I'm going to play whatever I like because I know there's going to be people out there who like what I like. Like Ray likes what I like. I know other people like what I like. And yeah, at night I'll play something a little more risque, like Relax by Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Actually, technically,
1984.
that song is pretty cool. Anywho.
Okay. Ray, I'm assuming yours might have anime music on there sometime.
You know, I wrote a story once where there was
Wait, just skip past the
No.
You
They're
can't
talking about
tell
call
the
letters.
story.
They're talking about call letters. In the
can't
call
tell the
letters, it
story.
was WSOB. So.
Oh!
I would just for the purpose because my favorite
And they
anime
just
is
played rebellion music.
because my favorite anime is Naruto would be GEB Gaara Eats Babies, and it would play Naruto music. Okay.
Wow, we've sped that up. Okay, thanks for listening. Come back next week when we have topics of interest.